no plans at all. Evil man's always transcending. Fighter like sheep, swallow everything. Always simpletons or pretending.
This is your moment of clarity from LeeCamp.net. What can we say about 2013? A year that encompassed both the height of intelligence and the pinnacle of monkey-brained idiocy mixed with stupidity, sauteed with what the fuck, and lightly seasoned with, are you serious? And then, when it all was said and done, we were left with Lance Armstrong going, what? The bracelets are still cool? Doesn't that count for something? The little yellow bracelets. So here now are the 5 most crucial underreported stories of 2013. It's certainly not all of them, it's just a few of them, because reporting all of them would take until 2025. The Boston bombing shocked America. 2 dipshits killed 4 people, and the corporate media shat themselves and then smeared it across your TV screen. Most of what was reported that day was wrong, but who cares? It was CNN's highest ratings in years. A month later, the FBI were interrogating an unarmed acquaintance of the Boston bombers, Ibrahim Todashev, and after 4.5 hours of chatting with him, they decided to shoot him 7 times, once in the back of the head, which at the very least is poor manners for house guests. The corporate media hardly mentioned this story, and in fact, half of you watching this video right now are going, what? When did that happen? We're the media. We're over 60% accurate on the stories we decide to tell you about. But don't worry, America. Focus on this instead.
On December 6th, Kiss FM's Jingle Ball got a surprise visit from bad Mrs. Claus.
Just this week, it came out that Attorney General Eric Holder and the Justice Department are protecting the big banks against a criminal investigation because the big banks are really having a tough time getting ahead here in the United States. Federal bank examiners have been trying to figure out what J.P. Morgan Chase knew about Bernie Madoff and his massive Ponzi scheme, but the Justice Department won't enforce the subpoenas, because why should we know whether J.P. Morgan helped one of the biggest financial terrorists of all time? That is none of our business. And besides, J.P. Morgan Chase has affluenza. It's not their fault they don't know right from wrong. And this goes along with Eric Holder's testimony in March that big banks are too fucking big to even prosecute. He said it could hurt the nation's economy to bring a criminal charge against the largest criminals in the country. If prosecuting them from wrongdoing could hurt the nation's economy, then just imagine what telling them they're too big to prosecute could do to the nation. Good God, they would have free rein to smack the shit out of us. Oh, they do. It's like telling a serial murderer who's gripping the nation with fear that what he's doing is wrong, but you won't be prosecuting him because he's a celebrity now and it's good for news ratings. Do you think he might keep slashing people's throats? Do you think he might giggle like a schoolgirl while he's doing it? If you walked into J.P. Morgan Chase right this minute, I can guarantee you there's some giggling going on. One more note on the big banks that I'm sure you already learned because corporate media talked about it all the never. The big banks do nothing but transfer billions of dollars from taxpayers to shareholders. They are a giant money laundering scheme. Right now you're thinking, hold on, listen. Why should I pay attention to a crazy comedian with a beard like yours? Alright, I've written off comedians for so much as a handlebar mustache, I'll have you know. You don't have to believe me. Believe the editors of Bloomberg.com. This is a quote directly from them. The top 5 big banks account for $64 billion of the total subsidy paid by taxpayers to the banks, an amount roughly equal to their typical annual profits. In other words, the banks would just about break even in the absence of corporate welfare. In large part, the profits that they report are essentially transfers from taxpayers to shareholders. Unquote. That's from Bloomberg, not some hippie with a hacky sack or some video gamer with a sticky sack. But who is truth to tell me what to decide? Look at this instead.
When I turned 16, I got a Prada backpack, and it had the triangle gold Prada symbol
that you would polish.
It was my favorite piece ever.
Many people know that the Keystone XL pipeline is being called the nail in the coffin for stopping climate change, and many people stepping out of their mindless consumerist mindset is bad for business. So the old fart oligarchs got together and said, okay, what do we do with the Keystone XL? Let's see. We could not build the pipeline and let the planet live. I'd sooner vote for Raul Castro for president. We could give the actual information about the pipeline to the American people and let them decide in a democratic manner. I'd sooner lick John Candy's ass, God rest his soul. Or we could change the name of the pipeline to something so boring that it makes the eyes of your average American roll so far back in their heads that they can see their own brain, which is shriveled to the size of a grape nut and is scared and shivering like a dachshund in Chicago in January without his sweater on. Something like Gulf Coast Project. Yeah, no one will give a fuck about that. It sounds like some kind of sports retreat for rich white guys in Barbados. That's right, the southern half of the Keystone XL pipeline has the new name, the Gulf Coast Pipeline Project, and it's slated to begin carrying oil in a few weeks. And here's how much you've heard about this from the corporate media. Kind of like if Lady Gaga changed her name to Carl. No one would talk about her anymore. No offense to Carl. But of course the biggest unmentionable story of 2013, the story that blew out all others in terms of just how much it did not get talked about, the story that is like a black hole, not even light escaped from it, is Beyonce. Why is no one talking about her? She deserves a little bit of press, alright? A little bit of attention. She's worked very hard. No, actually, it's the Trans-Pacific Partnership and the Transatlantic Trade and Investment Partnership, the two biggest trade deals in the history of humankind, which are being pushed through Congress as we speak and are designed to give away national sovereignty to corporations. But perhaps there's a justifiable reason why the corporate media is not covering this story. Here's a side-by-side comparison. Trans-Pacific Partnership, very confusing to understand. Beyonce, very understandable. Those hips don't lie, alright? Trans-Pacific Partnership, shitty dancers. Beyonce, great dancer. Trans-Pacific Partnership does bad things like destroy what's left of our republic. Beyonce does good things like Jay-Z. Trans-Pacific Partnership, very secretive. Not even Congress is really allowed to see it. Only corporate lobbyists and the president have access. Beyonce, totally not secretive. In fact, she made a goddamn documentary about herself in case there was anyone left who didn't know something about her. Trans-Pacific Partnership, never done a single positive thing for women. Beyonce delivers a great message for young women while also kindly letting them know they should drink toxic liquid. As you can see, Beyonce, so much more fun to cover than Trans-Pacific Partnership. Shut up, facts! Look at this! Well, those are the most crucial, largely ignored stories of 2013. Oh, wait, I forgot number one. It's this. Well, that's been your moment of clarity from LeeCamp.net. If you think these stories are important, please forward them to friends. And I'd like to thank a few more Moment of Clarity supporters. Cindy Allen, Boyd Huff, Paul Turner, Matt Keeble, Miles Jaffe, Rachel Watkins, Marsha, and P.E. Nolan. Thank you. You all rock. The song here at the end is Wake Up by Sierra and the Nomads. Their website's in the description. Keep fighting in 2014.
Wake up, shake up, shake up. What's it gonna take to make this world wake up? Wake up, wake up, shake up, shake up. Do we need another earthquake to wake us up? Wake up.